So Netflix has hired Oz Perkins, director of The Blackcoat's Daughter, which we did a review for, it'll be in the description below, to craft sort of a slow burn horror film to add to their collection called I Am the Pretty Thing That Lives in the House. What do we think of it? Well, let's check it out. Alright, so we'll let everybody know in advance this is a spoiler review, so if you haven't seen it yet, check it out and come on back. Alright, you're here, so you fired up your Netflix subscription, you checked it out, and make sure we're on the same page. What do we got?
Well, the plot is Iris is a retired, I think, horror author or just author in general.
Well, yeah.
And a live-in nurse, Lily, gets hired to take care of her because she seems to be a little mentally not all there.
It's on in years.
Yeah.
Is the term, I think.
It's very polite of you. Thank you. Lily starts to eventually suspect that her most famous horror book that Iris has written is actually a true story about the people who used to live in the house.
The me that can see only the name.
She eventually gets so creeped out by it, and shit goes wrong, you know, and everyone dies. Woo!
Yay! Or do they? Do they die?
As always, scared to ask this one because he never likes anything.
Oh, that's not true. Come
but
on
I will ask you, did you like anything about this movie?
Of course I like things about this. Well, not necessarily, of course, but in this case I happen to. One of the primary things was that this was a slow burn. We kind of mentioned it at the beginning, and as much of a fan of slow burns that I am, I do admit that at times, in fact most times, slow burns kind of go one of two directions. Too slow,
and you're
out of the game, or not slow enough. And that does sound...
Big pacing issues.
Yeah, big pacing issues. Or, kind of part and parcel with that, is that you do a slow burn, the pace is correct, but you don't pepper in enough to keep people interested. Like, you know, if the only payoff is at the end, you run the risk of losing people. So, paramount to this, what are we talking about? Well, this, of course, was paced correctly and had enough in it happening that it kept my interest, kept me hooked. And then I got my big payoff at the end, and as a slow burn should. So I did, in fact, enjoy the correct usage of the slow burn, if you will, in this. So that was one. There, see, you got one.
Whoa.
Your turn. I'll serve it over to you.
I did like the narration in this.
Okay.
I have a feeling a lot of people didn't. But I think Ruth Wilson, who played Lily, I think she had the right look, the right voice, the right tone. She did kind of have that like meek nurse nervous thing. I like the way she talked and presented the story. I wasn't bored, I wasn't lost.
No, it fit in.
They thought about the words they used.
I have heard myself say that a house with a death in it can never again be bought or sold by the living.
Yes, the words did tie in to ultimately being in the house and then what happens with the ghosts and everything else. And you're right, people are generally split on narrative. You know, some people absolutely hate it, but the bottom line is that, you know, there are just certain things within the medium that can't be expressed unless you want to make it a 4-8 hour movie. Narration is a shortcut to do that. And it's done effectively, and I would agree with you, it was done effectively. It enhances as opposed to detracts. So yeah, I'll give you that one as well.
Yeah, and you know, unfortunately, this movie did get like 1 star on Netflix. It got incredibly low ratings.
Yes.
I'm going to be a little bit cruel and call it a thinking person's movie, so I can see why a lot of people maybe didn't get it.
A lot of people don't think.
No, I think it was a little too much of a slow burn for some people. Cerebral, good word. I like it. Scrabble partner.
I'm on it.
And I like explanation of ghost stories. I've mentioned that before. And I think the way they presented this ghost story, and even explained that when someone dies in the house, it's their house, and and only the living borrow it from them.
Like it or not, like it or not, that's a new concept, an additional, you know, idea. And then the other concept that actually you and I both enjoy, and they did thankfully do this, is the concept of reliving the same moment,
Over and over.
and over again.
The ghosts are just there.
They're there. At the very, 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 very end of the movie, Lily in ghost format is kind of chewing on something. If you look really close, it's basically the cord of the phone.
The pretty thing you're looking at.
Where it sort of all began.
Where it all began. Yes, exactly. So, top notch to them for that, because that is something that we do enjoy, and they handled very, very well.
And just that atmosphere of the ghost story felt like a ghost story.
Atmosphere of the whole movie, in fact.
Yes. This director has a style.
He does have a style. We saw it on display in the Blackcoat's Daughter. It works because it's very dark. It's very dreary. It's very depressing, and I don't mean that there's not a lot of light. You get the sense of dread and foreboding throughout the whole movie. So there's no question that shit is going wrong, as you say.
Yes, always.
Always.
There is a vein of you're aware that something's uncomfortable or unsettling or not right.
Yes, and that's
here.
conveyed to the audience, thus making it more enjoyable for them.
Yes, but I think this movie overall contained the number one most important we have ever seen, said, thought about. I was screaming on the couch. I was so thankful for this moment.
Without question, because I've brought it up in a lot of other reviews on the negative side of things. I've never had an opportunity to bring it up on the positive side of things.
Finally.
Yes, finally. Basically, in a nutshell, Lily sees a ghost.
She sees Polly for the first time.
And is scared to death, dies, which totally makes sense. I think you may have even brought it up. I know I have. How many movies do you see the lead actor or actress encounter a demon spawn from hell and go, I'm gonna run away.
Don't even scream. Especially with possessions or demons, ghosts, zombies, back from the dead. People are like, oh look, If you saw that, if those things actually existed and you saw it in reality, your brain would not be able to comprehend what is happening. Finally, the ghost effects maybe weren't the best, but she sees the ghost.
Doesn't matter.
And she is scared to death.
Done.
That's real.
That's perfect.
That's amazing.
That's right. Yes. Without question, we've said it a million times before. We're huge H.P. Lovecraft fans, and he was the master of this. He had stated uncategorically that there were things beyond human comprehension that if realized, if witnessed, would, in his cases, blow their mind, drive them insane, whatever else. And honestly, the supernatural, ghost, the afterlife, totally falls under that umbrella.
For sure.
Finally, someone said, okay, we're going to run with that. So that got our top, I think, for both of us.
That was the most perfect moment of the movie.
Without question. All right, it is dislikes time. Da-da-da. And I'm guessing you don't either have any, or you've just a mild one.
I have more than one, but I guess they are mild. They are kind of mild.
All right.
And I can say a lot of things about this director's
everything. Go ahead.
Style. He has a style. This is a very defined style.
Without question. I'll agree with you on that.
If you watch Blackcoat's Daughter, and I'm the pretty thing that lives in the house, you are aware.
They take place
it's the same person.
A couple blocks from each other.
However, I don't know if that style is my style. I think it's really interesting. I think it's different. I think it's very visionary for horror movies nowadays. I am there. It's just a little too artsy for me. I think we've veered off into art movie instead of horror movie. I don't know. It's just not quite my thing.
No, I can kind of see that. He does, and we mentioned it. It's dark, it's dreary, and everything else. But by the same token, maybe the shot choices or the framing or everything else, kind of flows a little bit into that artsy fartsy. You gotta kind of, give them a little leeway with that to really enjoy it.
And you said you thought the pacing was great, and I did too. Don't get me wrong. There was some awkwardness, though, I thought. Some of it was a little too slow, and I like a slow burn, but I don't know. I think the whole style it's so recognizable, but every time I'm just not sure.
Maybe the pacing overall was good for me, but I can't acknowledge that within that there may have been a couple of drips, where...
a little
Yeah, a little, just a little
Move on.
much. Not much. It still didn't affect me that much. But yeah, that, and then a consistent gripe, we always have it,
Yeah.
and we're going to throw it up here as well, is CGI ghosts, man.
I did even mention it in the likes too. When we finally see Polly
Yeah.
as a ghost, it was just really weird looking.
Not good.
But no, it
No.
really,
No.
like she was see-through, but it didn't even look like she was
No.
in the same frame.
And we get it, like practical effects ghost, that's an oxymoron.
possible.
But then, you know, and this is Netflix, so come on, man, it's not like you don't have the money. Let's be honest. All right, okay, I'm not going to say that you got to turn this into the next James Cameron special effects extravaganza, but
But it was it was
little
noticeable.
rough. Yeah, that was a little noticeable and rough. Yeah, and then actually, kind of going back to the pacing.
Okay.
Not the pacing per se, but as you are going along through the movie, or any movie, and it is a slow burn, there needs to be some scares along the way
Yeah.
to remind you are watching a horror movie. You know, I use the witch as my standard bearer. You know, best slow burn I've seen in forever, peppered in scares throughout.
That didn't have anything to do with the end.
With the end, no, just, you know, hey, you're watching a horror movie, boys and girls.
Yeah.
We're gonna throw this bone at you. This film, no bones thrown.
I mean, there was the she gets the phone cord ripped out of her hand.
But seen that.
Seen that, and then she does see Polly in the TV reflection
Seen
behind
that.
her. But that was kind of it.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm not expecting like The Conjuring 2 or some big budget James Wan
no.
ghost demon this coming at you all the time.
No,
but
no.
I think there could have been a little bit, and very subtle things. I love the subtle ghost thing,
Yes. Yeah.
but a little bit more. We are in a horror movie.
Yeah. Keep
Let's-
us a little reminder. Yeah. It's not a you know, examination of a caretaker. Like, yeah. So that
One or two more things I think would have jazzed it up a little bit.
definitely would have jazzed it up. And then.
Biggest issue. I think.
Biggest issue, not necessarily a style or atmosphere that you're bringing up, but the director did do this in The Blackcoat's Daughter, and he did it in this as well. He likes to, being generous, we'll say, leave an open ending. A more accurate statement would be a too open ending.
Too open everything.
To open everything. Yeah, we had to, after The Blackcoat's Daughter, sit, discuss, and figure out what
And even
the
then,
ending
it's
was.
only a guess.
And it is only a guess. That's fair. This film, we actually, and we mentioned this in the likes, we're looking out for something, we're sensitive to something, we really like the concept or idea of being
Yeah.
scared to death instantly, of ghosts reliving their trauma over and over again. So when the occurred here, we caught it.
And we've seen so many different, you know, there's a place for slasher movies and gore movies
Yeah.
and torture porn and slow burn, quiet ghost stories like this. And that's great.
Right. Yeah, and so we caught that, but I'm thinking the casual viewer,
Who is expecting
Something like that.
maybe a high budget, high powered ghost story.
Yeah.
They get this.
right.
I can see why they don't like it, but I can also see if they probably just didn't get it.
They totally didn't get it because we love the open ending, stated a million times. With that being said, with the open ending, you generally get somewhere in the movie a few hints that says to you, okay, you know what, when you think about it, remember this, and then you'll get it.
Yeah. Or there's some resolution to feel like the movie's a complete start, middle, end. There's
Yeah.
a thought that happened.
None of that here.
No, very.
No.
And then they went into like another family
Yeah.
moving in,
Which is not needed.
but
A little too much extra? No. So again, it is his style. It is what he does. I think it does hurt the broad market appeal, and you can't say that I don't make money for the broad market appeal, because you do. Not the end of the world, but definitely, you know, when we're sitting here going, you know,
Wait, what?
Yeah, wait, what? Or we think we have the ending, we think we have the answer. I want to work on that a bit. Pinhead movie time, pinhead time, and this might be one of the very rare occasions where I am having a hard time guessing how many pinheads you're going to give this. Usually, I
No,
got it.
this-
I know it going in.
this
but
one should be easy.
you think so?
Yeah.
All right. Well, fire it up. Let me see. Okay, hold on. All right, I got a number in my head. Go ahead.
Okay.
All right.
My reasoning on this is actually going to be kind of the same as Blackcoat's daughter.
Okay.
Where I didn't even necessarily like Blackcoat's daughter, but I couldn't stop thinking about it.
Okay.
And it made me think for days after I saw the movie.
Always
and I was
good.
like, wow, man.
Good, yeah.
And this one, same thing. I don't know if I really liked it, but I couldn't really stop thinking about it.
Okay.
Because there was so much to think about. And the new concepts that were presented and the narration that they had explaining how ghosts in that kind of world that he created
Right,
live
yeah.
in. So for that, while the director's style is just not my favorite style, it's a little too artsy,
Yeah,
even though
yeah.
it did have She Got Scared to Death, which is the most amazing thing I've ever seen.
Yay, finally.
I'm gonna go
And-
straight down the middle.
Oh.
Same again, 2.5.
Okay. All right.
I think it's fair. It's
All right.
right dead center.
Yeah. Well, no. I mean, it is. My number was 3. How was it actually 4 off?
Yeah,
My
okay.
number was 3.
I did the same rating for Blackcoat's daughter because
That
I
you
feel
did.
exactly the same way.
That you did. Okay. So, all right. Well, of course, when I sit down and I look at these things, one of the simplest methods, I suppose, is for me to go, how many likes did I have and how many dislikes do I have? Bounce out, get a ratio, apply my own little twisted logic. Hey, we're good to go.
A lot of twisted logic.
Yes, the best kind. And doing so for this movie, I honestly had to say that it was about equal. It really was. There definitely was things I liked. I did state them. I'm not going to equivocate on that as well. The dislikes were not my severe, just
Hated the- you
hated.
hated
You ripped me out of it, that sort of thing. So, middle of the road for me is no different than the middle of the road for you. So for me, it's 2.5 pinheads, straight down the middle. We're good to go. We're
Gosh,
set.
this was the easiest pinheads ever.
I know, we should have done this in like 10 seconds. But so, your 2.5, my 2.5, that's going to make this a 2.5 pinhead movie. It looks like it's 1 star on Netflix versus 2.5 pinheads in a battle to the death. So, weigh in. Let us know which side you fall on in the comment section right below here.
And don't forget, all of our social media links are up
yeah.
top. And most importantly, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. That's how we can keep bringing you these reviews.